Hollywood has lost another legend. But this time, something isn't adding up. Gene Hackman, one of the most celebrated actors of all time, has passed away at the age of 95. But when FBI agents arrived at a secluded Santa Fe mansion, they were met with a scene so bizarre, so unsettling, that it left even seasoned investigators in shock. What they found inside his home will leave you speechless. At first, it seemed like a peaceful passing of a retired star. But then, the details started emerging. An open front door, 2 dogs running loose outside, a 3rd dog dead in a crate, and inside, a Hollywood icon and his wife, lifeless, in separate rooms. No immediate cause of death, no forced entry, no sign of foul play. What happened inside Gene Hackman's home? And why does everything about this case feel wrong? Join us as we unravel the mystery behind the shocking discoveries made at his mansion, and why this case remains one of Hollywood's most puzzling unsolved deaths. It all started on a cold morning when maintenance workers arrived at Hackman's sprawling Santa Fe estate for a scheduled checkup. The property was massive, a private sanctuary, hidden away from the public eye. Hackman had chosen to spend his later years here, far from the bright lights of Hollywood. But something wasn't right. As they approached the front entrance, they noticed the door was wide open, not cracked, not slightly ajar, but completely open. 2 dogs ran freely outside, agitated and restless. But then came the most disturbing sign of all. A 3rd dog, trapped in a crate, lifeless, dehydrated. Something was terribly, terribly wrong. The workers immediately called the police. Minutes later, authorities arrived. What they found inside the house, nothing could have prepared them. In a dimly lit hallway, near the back door, Gene Hackman, collapsed, lifeless, with his cane and sunglasses nearby, as if he had fallen suddenly. On the opposite end of the house, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, unresponsive, in the bathroom, with pill bottles open, medication scattered everywhere. And the strangest part? Their bodies showed signs of decomposition, suggesting they had been dead for days, possibly even weeks. But how could this have gone unnoticed? Why had no one checked on them sooner? And why did the entire crime scene feel staged? To understand the weight of this mystery, we must first recognize the man behind the legacy. Gene Hackman wasn't just an actor. He was a force of nature. Born in 1930, he served in the U.S. Marine Corps before turning to acting, but his early years weren't glamorous. In fact, he was repeatedly told he wouldn't make it. When he trained at the Pasadena Playhouse, he was ranked least likely to succeed alongside another struggling actor, Dustin Hoffman. But Hackman proved everyone wrong. With over 100 film credits, he won 2 Academy Awards, one for French Connection and another for Unforgiven. He was Lex Luthor in the 1978 Superman film. He was Royal Tenenbaum in the Royal Tenenbaums. He was a master of grit, drama, and comedy alike. But in 2004, he vanished from Hollywood, retiring quietly due to health concerns. He never returned to the screen again. For the next 2 decades, he lived in private isolation until the world heard of his passing. And now, with so many unanswered questions, people can't help but wonder, did Gene Hackman really die of natural causes? Or is there more to the story? At first, authorities leaned toward the most logical explanation, carbon monoxide poisoning. It's a silent killer, odorless, invisible, and responsible for over 400 deaths per year in the U.S. alone. A malfunctioning heater or gas leak could have filled the house with toxic fumes, rendering both Gene and Betsy unconscious. It would explain why they died at the same time. But when New Mexico Gas Company investigators arrived, they ruled it out immediately. No leaks, no carbon monoxide, nothing. So, if it wasn't poisoning, what was it? That's when things got even stranger. Several disturbing details stood out. The open door, who left it open? Had someone entered or exited before authorities arrived? The separate locations of their bodies, if it was a poisoning or overdose, why weren't they found together? The dead dog. Investigators found it had been without food and water for days, meaning Gene and Betsy had also been gone for longer than suspected. No forced entry, no signs of a struggle, no broken locks. It was almost as if time froze inside that house. And then came another bizarre possibility. Some investigators considered the possibility of a double suicide. Perhaps they had made a mutual decision to leave together. But then why? Were they found in different rooms? Were there no notes left behind? Were they still engaged in their daily routines just days prior? Something wasn't fitting. Then came the theory that one had passed first, and the other, overcome with grief, followed suit. But if that were the case, Why were there no clear signs of what caused their deaths? And the biggest question of all, was there a third party involved? As of today, the mystery of Gene Hackman's final moments remains unsolved. The autopsy revealed no external injuries, no signs of struggle, no forced ingestion of toxic substances. Authorities continue to investigate, but for now, there are more questions than answers. Hollywood has lost a giant, a man whose performances defined an era. From a struggling actor to an Oscar-winning legend, Gene Hackman's story is one of perseverance, talent, and triumph, but his final chapter remains a mystery. Was it natural death, an accident, a decision made in secrecy, or was something darker at play? We may never know. What do you think really happened? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love Hollywood mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because sometimes the truth is more shocking than fiction.